Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Stacks. I'm your host, Bill Stacks, and today I got Lou Balestrieri, formerly known as Louie B.
It's a great feeling. You have Gun and Shield Day. Well, they give that to you. You know, it's a tremendous amount of power that we have. I have the power to take your rights away and put you in jail for 30 years. I have the power at my discretion to blow your head off if you're going to kill me.
Yeah,
or kill another party. And sometimes I got to make that decision, in a nanosecond. I was happy. I was proud. I was out there. When I came out of the police academy, I get stuck in a precinct that was known as Untold. Now, the New York City Police Department, New York City, within the police department, is divided up into boroughs. Okay, the borough of Manhattan is divided in half, and it's Manhattan North, Manhattan South. Queens is the same thing. Queens North, Queens South, Brooklyn, Brooklyn North, Brooklyn South. And depending on the number of the precinct, you knew exactly what borough it was in. Now, the Bronx was just the Bronx. Staten Island was just Staten Island. Queens was just Queens at the time, but now there is a Queens North and a Queens South. I wind up, each one of these boroughs, by the way, has what's known as a dumping ground. Now, if you are a screw-up in the borough, someplace in one of those precincts, they send you to the dumping ground. Now, the dumping ground got no good place to eat. It just sucks. There's no parking. It's tough to get to. Basically, you're doing penance in the dumping ground.
There's like a lot of addicts in that area. And
oh yeah, I was on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. If you were a drunk cop, what they would do is they would send you to what's known as, we call it the farm, which is a place to get you better. Now, we have an expression. Where's Bill? Is he all right? No. They sent him to the farm. Oh, what's he doing? He's getting his tractor license. It was just, that's the lingo we used. Now, what would happen is you come out of the farm, they send you to the dumping ground to do more penance, and they take your gun away. So now you're part of the rubber gun squad. You see what I'm saying?
They call them the rubber gun squad.
Rubber gun squad, yeah. These are things that the average person will never know. But I'm going to tell you like it is. That's the way it is. So where do I start? I start on the Lower East Side of Manhattan in the 7th precinct, in a shit house, in a dumping ground. Okay.
But you got your gun. You got your gun.
No, I'm legit. But they needed bodies there. I'm coming out of the police academy. I get stuck there. But it was one of the best places I ever worked because these guys were, it was like family. I enjoyed going to work. At the end of the tour, I couldn't wait to go back the next day. That's how.
Yeah. What was your first day like? What did you go out, drive around? Did he?
No. You walk. Okay. Did you ever hear the expression the cops are called flatfoots?
Yeah.
You know what they call flatfoots? Because they walk. When I was a cop, you come out of the police academy, and you're out on foot. So what they do, every 6 months there was a new class coming in. So they put me on a post with a guy who's got 6 months longer than me. It's the blind leading the blind. Okay, so they give me a post that was like 3 miles from the precinct, so to speak. And we walked there. It was a cold winter night. It was in December of 1985. And I get this post. There's all over the place. I get to this park and we're walking, and I'm like green as green could be. I'm street smart, but it's a different. It's a different. I grew up in the ghetto, but this is a little bit different. And we're walking in this park, and the guy that I'm with goes, "Get him!" And this guy gets up and starts running. I don't know what I'm doing. I start chasing him. So I take out my stick, and I'm beating this guy. I don't know why I'm hitting him. Okay, he was a junkie shooting up. And I just said, I don't know, I got to stop him. So I hit him. He's screaming like a. And I said, okay, I hit him. Now what do we do? technically we should have locked him up, but he dropped his hypo and we didn't find it. So he was happy that he was shooting up. He was ready to go. As he started to run, he dropped it. It's in the middle of the dark. I don't want to touch a dirty hypo anyway. You just let him go, you know.
You're coming across a lot of situations like this, walking around?
In the same area, one time there was a family dispute, which can go haywire very quickly. Now, I go there. I'm on a foot post. I go there to back up the sector, these are the guys who were called over the radio to do the job. I'm up there, and we get to the apartment, and there's a guy and his wife, balls ass naked. They're in the living room, in the kitchen, fighting. She's naked, and they're arguing. There's a kid in a crib, okay? It's obvious he's got shit all over him, and there was rats running along the apartment walls. And I'm with this old timer, and he says to me, "Hey," grab me by the shoulder. He says, "Hey, kid, get off the wall." I said, "Why?" "I'm going to keep my back to the wall because I'm safe." He says, "You'll be taking those roaches home with you." And I look, there's roaches running all over the place. There's rice and beans on the stove, which is a very big dish for Hispanic people. And the majority of the people in the area I was working in are Hispanic. There's roaches running all over the pots. Oh, I remember leaving. I said, "What? I got to do this for 20 years. There's no way. I can't do this. Is disgusting." But you become acclimated, you know, your defense mechanism kicks in, and you just learn how to get along with this. In the precinct, if you ate in the precinct, it was filthy dirty. If you took your stuff into the kitchen, which was like a lounge, the roaches would crawl out from underneath the table and run across you. You learn not to eat in the kitchen. Okay. After I started riding in the car, I always had lunch inside the car. Well, we call it meal.
People would be surprised if they seen how many people really live like that with roaches.
Yeah. I mean, they say you're going to suffer from culture shock. I came from, I was a knock-around guy from the streets of Brooklyn. I've been in bad areas, but I've never been in bad areas and see how some of these people live. And as crazy as it sounds, there are a lot of great people in those areas. They just don't have the education or what have you to get out. But those are the people that I enjoyed working with. Those are the people that I didn't mind protecting.
So what are some other situations you came across during your job as a cop?
A million things. Like give me an instance.
Did you ever have to pull your gun out?
I never killed anybody. I had 6 opportunities as a cop to take a human life, and I didn't do it. I get out of the police academy in December of 1985, August of 85. See, I knew how to operate. Most cops, when they came out of the police academy, you do 6 months in what's called a NSU, Neighborhood Stabilization Unit. While you're in there, you got a guy, a field training officer. He takes you by the hand. He teaches you how to drive your car. You know, it's you and another cop. You rotate. When you're not walking a foot post, you ride with the field training officer. And when we were in NSU, I was out of that precinct, out of that building, but we covered several areas, several different precincts. Okay, and then after 6 months, they would put you in a permanent precinct, and it could be any place in the city. What happened to me was they put up a sign, and it's called a 49. It's a memo, and it said that they were looking for cops to enter this unit called CPOP, Community Patrol Officer Program. And there'd be steady tours. Okay, you could work day tours of 4 to 12s, and they just wanted people. So I inquire, and I find out that the sergeant is hated by members in the command. They're looking at the other sergeants. They're sticking them in this here because nobody wants to work with them. What do? I talk to him, and I realize I'm going to get along with this guy. There's my weakness, okay? This guy gives me, now, mind you, I'm out of the academy. I didn't complete this whole NSU. I'm out of the academy 2 months, 3 months. I'm doing steady 4 to 12s with weekends off. That is unheard of. When I tell you unheard of, all these other poor bastards had to go around the clock. 8 to 4s, 4 to 12s, 12 to 8s. You have no life. This was the life I was preparing myself for when I was in the police academy. But now I'm working a regular job. I got banker's hours. I asked this guy, well, what does it take? He wanted me to give out 5 summonses a day. Piece of cake. Okay. What does he do? He thinks he's screwing me. He gives me the biggest post that I could possibly have because I'm the rookie. I have 32 block faces to patrol all by myself. All by myself. Ain't a soul around.
That's a lot.
You ain't kidding. But the best thing nobody knew where I was, which was great. But nobody knew where I was when I was in trouble. That's not a good thing. So they said to me, your post number 4, CPOP, Community Patrol Officer Program, number 4, you do whatever it takes on your post to fight crime. My post was, I had no really stores or whatever. I had projects, a couple of stores, and it was all. So I get out there and I rule with a very heavy hand. A young kid nicknamed me the Mighty Whitey. Okay, when I went out there, I was very, very fair. I would never flake anybody. In other words, I threw you on a wall. I knew you were dirty, but you dropped something on the floor, and I really didn't see it. I'm not going to put it in your pocket. I didn't plant anything on anybody. That wasn't what I did. The dealers, those are the people that I pushed around.